community we have and the support we get from the community. So thank you all for that. Thank you all for showing up for this. Let you know right off the bat, like was covered a little bit, we have been communicating with each other. Resources are good. We're comfortable with what we have in reserve. We're going to be out in full force tomorrow, and we have contingency plans. So as far as being overrun, that's not going to happen. I can guarantee that. We have been communication with the organizer for this event. That's a legitimate event. It sounds like the organizer plans on about 60 people, and we can't find any intelligence that says otherwise. Now, there's a lot of information on the social media sites, lots of chatter, lots of talk, lots of threats. We've been chasing those down for 2 days and can't confirm any of it. My gut tells me that tomorrow we're not going to have much of a turnout from this resistance, from this opposition. So, with that said, we can't plan on a gut feeling, so we plan on contingencies, and we have resources ready to go. As far as coming out to support us, very much appreciated. Extra bodies, extra eyes, stand together as a community. Love all that. We talked about guns a little bit. We ask you not to do that. We don't want you to do anything that is going to draw from our resources and taking care of the real problem. And we want to know you from the bad guys, obviously. So let us do the apprehension. Let us do the use of force. By all means, be a good set of eyes. Call us, be a good witness. Do everything you can to be peaceful in what we're doing out there. The show of unity within the Tuolumne County and our residents, I think is very commendable, and I thank you for that. I'll let the sheriff talk for a little bit, and then I'm open for questions.
So, again, a lot of what we're hearing is a lot of rumor. We can't pin down anything. So, just so you guys feel comfortable in our plan, basically every cop that we have is going to be on call tomorrow throughout the entire county. We talked with Calaveras Sheriff. They know what's going to happen here. They're ready to back us up, as well as Stanislaus County. There is a small protest being planned in Oakdale about 10 o'clock in the morning. And my assumption is that they'll do their protest there. Come up here. We should have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. We need to call in the troops. I will tell you the same thing the chief said. Same thing I tell my officers when they're off duty. Be a good witness. Don't get involved unless your life's threatened. Okay? I can't stress enough. I had like 4 phone calls today about people saying they're going to bring guns to this. That scares me to death. Because you've never been in this situation before. It's pretty chaotic. We're not going to know all of you. You are the good guys, right? We're not going to know you from the bad guys. If you have a gun, go south on the road. So please, no guns. No open carry. This is, I had a lot of calls about the open carry. Not an open carry state. Not going to have open carry.
Yeah, if you have to ask that question, you don't know where you're at.
The forestry informed with the government are trying to close the forest.
Everyone
Wouldn't it be better to think of this as like a fire and not to fan the fire? So if they come at us or they're trying to provoke us, instead of fighting them back, agree with them, try to keep them moving and try to keep them away from stores or anything else. That's the easiest way to deal with someone with hate.
That's a great point. I want to introduce guys from Sheriff's Office. I have Lieutenant David Vasquez here.
You good now?
Goes along with that talks about, hey, if they come up to you, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks for being peaceful. let them do their thing. You want to talk to me about that?
Certainly. So, from our response, obviously we're here to protect the constitutional rights of not only our citizens, but those that want to exercise their right to free speech and do these peaceful protests and whatnot.
A little louder.
Can you talk over here too, sometimes too?
Our job as law enforcement is to protect the constitutional rights, obviously, of not only our citizens in our community, but anybody that should come here and want to exercise their freedom of speech and a peaceful protest and whatnot. I have had the opportunity to be a part of a couple different incidences throughout my career where there's been tension, there's been large crowds from outside of the area that have gathered. And what we've found from our law enforcement side is that it's very beneficial and it helps to really calm the situation. Just like the sheriff said, when we see people, say, hey, we stand with you. I don't know that there's anybody here that disagrees with what happened that sparked all this. Wasn't right. It wasn't okay. That's what these people are upset about. And if there's anybody here that's not upset about it, you should be. So when you see these folks and they're angry, they're going to be angry, they're going to be emotional. That type of response to them and what they're doing is not going to help things. So keep that in mind, you know. The same constitutional rights that we all love, that we stand for, is the same thing that we're protecting for them. If it does happen to get to where we have people here that's not what their agenda is and it goes sideways, we're prepared for that. We have a contingency plan. Trust us, have faith in us. We're here for you folks, and we've got all that stuff covered. But just keep that in mind. If you come across these folks, we stand with them, right? That's the kind of approach we're going to have when they come here.
Can I make a polite suggestion?
Absolutely.
Is it possible that we can, because I mean, Walmart's incorporated, they don't care if they burn down. Is it possible to have this over at Walmart as opposed to historic downtown? Because if the. That's unfortunate. Build it again.
We're not going to let anything burn down.
Okay, our personal action at work, we don't have any plans. We plan on being on our knees and peaceful protesting. Looters and protesters are simple people.
They all say.
Yeah, but look,
She's running that.
I stand with law enforcement 100%.
I do too.
I stand with everybody
But I
here.
don't-
We all
It was
do.
law enforcement that got us into this mess. At one point, was law enforcement take a more docile stance and let we, the people, handle this problem?
That's anarchy.
All right, listen. That's it. You bring up a good point, right? Thank you. But we're a nation of law. We're not a nation of attitude, of feelings, of emotion. I'm not talking fighting. And I'm not done talking. Ma'am, you chose to express yourself in a manner consistent with your right.
That's right.
We all support that.
That's right.
Now, what happened as a result of that is that the information that we have gotten is that people outside of our county have determined that they're going to come educate us about being oppressive.
Yep, that's it.
And that's not okay.
The
So we're not
information
talking about you.
The information I got was from SPD, and they told me that they would be there to protect us.
Okay.
I have nothing to do with any. I'm born and raised 6th generation Fulton County.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm
We're
not
all here now.
the whole whatever. I don't care.
Not
We're not
whatever,
here.
we're all here. All right,
We're
listen,
here
listen,
to
listen.
cause problems.
Before this deteriorates further,
Stirring people up and telling people bad
She is not steering anybody up.
bad people are coming from
let's let these guys finish their remarks, and then I have an operations order. How many veterans do we have here? We have a 5-paragraph operations order immediately following their remarks. Hold all questions to the end. Go ahead, gentlemen. I'm sorry.
I will respond a little bit to this gentleman's comment earlier.
We didn't hear what he said.
I'll respond to this gentleman's comment that he made a little bit ago.
We didn't hear the comment.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Which one?
You want to repeat it?
Which one? Oh, okay. That
about
if
not-
we start the fight, if we cause them to fight here, they will bring it here. This will be their standoff because that's what they're looking for, is a place to feed off of. It's just like a fire, guys. We deal with fires all the time. We don't let them consume fuel and we shut them down. That's how we do it. I understand that,
No one's
but
saying laying down.
don't cause the problem.
My example to that, and we kind of, I believe, Lieutenant Pippin covered a little bit, but my example to that is when protests happen here in Tuolumne County and Sonora, you don't see a bunch of armed officers with shields and riot gear lining up immediately, right?
Yeah.
That's
extinguishers, not firearms.
That's intentional. That is intentional. Because when you meet aggression with aggression, it's going to blow up. But if you meet them with understanding and respect, there's a chance they're going to respect you back and respect the community back. We don't want to prove them wrong or prove them right. I'm sorry. We don't want to prove them right by acting in another way. So, even though we're ready, one second. Even though we're ready, we have contingencies to take care of business if business needs to be taken care of. If there is rioting or other acts of aggression, we're going to deal with it. We're not going to let the city burn down. In addition to law enforcement resources, we have fire resources on standby as well. So that is all covered. But you're not going to see a bunch of cops in riot gear right off the bat. My instructions to my people are actually to monitor the city, monitor the businesses, check those vulnerable locations. Okay, so that's how we're going to start off. And as they change the tone, if they change the tone, then we adjust appropriately. Is that fair?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't watch the news, so I'm a little, but I'm just thinking, why are they coming up here? Because there's nobody up here that's killed a black man, unfairly, be a cop or a citizen, right? So why are they bothering coming up here to start problems with the peaceful people that never created problems with them?
They're not just coming here, they live here.
That question, we can't answer what's in somebody else's mind or in somebody else's heart. But again, it's about, we want this to be a peaceful protest. It's only scheduled to be a half hour. That's their schedule, a half hour. So if we let them do their thing, say hello to them, let them do their peaceful protest and let them get out of town in a half hour, that would be outstanding. That's what we want.
But what if you get caught off guard?
Okay, how would you like us to report if we see something getting out of hand?
Thank you.
How would you like that reported?
All the calls are going to come in.
Okay, so find an PD officer or find a deputy.
We're patrolling. We're probably going to be busy
First of all,
patrolling.
be a good witness and
Pick
film
up your
that.
phone. I
They
think
can have
everybody here
evidence
probably has
after
a
the
cell
fact.
phone, right?
They're going to be busy. Okay.
But please make those calls important calls.
Okay, film it.
Because we're already being flooded with phone calls and questions and what ifs and all that. But call the law enforcement agency that your jurisdiction is. If it's downtown Sonora, which is what we're talking about, that's going to be us. And what's going on, why is it a danger, and a good description, where you're at, and what the suspect or problem it is. Try to be as clear and as brief as possible, and answer the dispatcher's questions. That's the best advice I can give you for reporting.
What are our rights if they throw a cocktail in our house and you're not?
Report everything.
What are our rights?
Everybody,
Approach it.
If it's
Everybody
a
has-
Molotov cocktail, then shoot. Exactly. Shoot someone. Shut up.
everybody has a right to defend themselves. And their home. Okay, but for me to say if someone comes on your property, you can blast them, that would be wrong.
No, but if they
That is
like throw a
absolutely wrong.
firebomb or something.
Because at the end of the day, you got to answer for your actions, right? We don't want you to do anything.
If we feel threatened by something,
If you're threatened, if there's an act of aggression against you, you have a right to defend yourself.
Let Dave talk.
I'm sorry.
Chief, thanks. What is your window? Is it going to end when they say they're done and they go home, or is it going to extend for like 24 hours after that? Because they could do a rope-a-dope and come back into town at 9 o'clock at night and start walking up and down the street.
The question is, what's the window of this thing? We don't know. All we know is that the original organizer, who we've been in contact with, is actually a local person, planned on a half-hour demonstration. But we know from what we've been seeing, anything can happen. So we have plans to have extra patrol throughout the night, and then we'll adjust after that.
Say you got plans for the city, right?
Pardon me?
Say you got plans for the city, right?
City and county.
What if it moves out?
Pardon me?
In the neighborhood.
If it moves out to the neighborhoods, so that's including the city and or the county. We're not only worried about the businesses, but what we're seeing a lot is businesses are being ransacked. So those are probably primary targets, especially the big box stores, is what we're seeing. But the businesses are primary targets, typically what we're seeing lately, right? But absolutely, we can move on into the residential areas. Yes, sir.
Sure. An option. What else we have in Tuolumne County besides a bunch of people who are worried about this? The firearms that worries you because the police are definitely on the spot here because of the whole police issue that started this thing. And we don't want to put you on any further. We don't want you carrying firearms. So what else we all have? How many of y'all got big ass dogs? Right? Think of this. So we have what we call a counter celebration, happens to fall on the same day as this protest, called Tuolumne County Dog Day Afternoon. Bring your fucking big ass dogs to town. A little hot and hungry, because anybody visiting sees these snarling teeth coming from the side of the street is going to be a lot more polite, I'm thinking. So that's what we got, that's what we consider, and I'm thinking you got to spread it around. And that's what I have to say.
Can we hear that encore?
Hey, do you need a permit?
Cool, man. I'm getting old. You and me both.
What's up, brother?
I have a question.
I know you do.
Yes. Okay. So,
I'm worried about highways and stuff. I'm saying that they want to go